I don't want the Lord to improve this. I want the Lord to give something new. Okay, so those that don't worship. Now, by the way, I'm just giving you an example, and I don't know if this will ever play out in this way or not. I'll give you an example. Let's say, well, there's over 5,000 people dead already with the coronavirus in Italy. There's already close to 3,000 in Spain, France, etc. United States will be hit in about 2 weeks or so. The peak. Australia will be hit peak in about 10 days or so, or maybe a little bit longer. The peak of that. It's still in the big scheme of things. There's a person dying every 12 minutes for heart failure. So in terms of numbers, diabetes kills far more. In terms of numbers, heart attack kills far more. So there's no question about that. However, if the thing becomes extremely, the numbers start really being bulked up in a funny way, and somebody comes up with a vaccine, that vaccine becomes compulsory. The way the world is now, so sensitive to this, if the numbers really become very bad, or at least they're portrayed as very, very, very bad, whatever it is, a vaccine is not going to be, oh, well, if I feel like it. No, it will be compulsory. Because if you don't put the vaccine, that means that you're still keeping the virus available to the society. That's the way they reason. The way I would reason is, well, if I want to die with that, was the problem? You guys are vaccinated, so you should be all right. But no, that's not how it's interpreted. The way it's interpreted is, well, you still keep the virus active in it. So then, if you don't put the vaccine, you become a danger to the rest of us. You become a threat to the rest of us. So you either put the vaccine and join us, or you become a threat. And between one man perishing and the whole world to perish, let one man perish. That has been said before. Okay? So I don't know how it will play it out. I don't know if it will be with the vaccine or whatever. I believe it's going to be with worship. But I'm just giving you the illustration with a vaccine, for instance, how easy it will be to intensify the temperature here, and basically you have no freedom of conscience in regards to vaccination, for instance. You will have no freedom of conscience if the intensification goes higher. Okay, now, having said that, we know that those that are heavenly dwellers do no worship. So initially they won't be able to buy or sell. But eventually, what can actually happen? What can actually happen if those people don't worship Jesus that we have crowned as king, and the four winds have stopped, the calamities have stopped? What can actually happen if people don't join us? That the calamities will start again. So we don't want that. We don't want to go again through that. We've gone through terrible images. We bury many people. No. We don't want any more. We just want back to where it was before, and Jesus will give us 1,000 years of peace. So because Jesus will give us 1,000 years of peace to set up this here on earth, so it will just be right. So what should happen is that persecution then should start again against the group of people that have said no. Those group of people that, together with those 144,000 message, they adopted that message, so they were added into the message. Now go back to Revelation 9, and we'll go verse 12. It says, one woe is past, behold, still two more woes are coming after this. Now notice verse 13. Then the sixth angel sounded, and I heard a voice from the four horns of the golden altar, which is before God, saying to the sixth angel who had the trumpet, release the four angels who are bound at the great river Euphrates. Now I want you to notice something. Which four angels are bound? Which four angels are bound in the fifth trumpet? The first four. Remember, the first 4, they have these calamities happening. The 5th stops them.
I see. Yeah.
So now they get released again.
I see what you're saying. Okay, yeah.
Okay, so now, so the 4 angels who had been prepared. Now, what I'm going to share with you is just very neat. And I don't know if it is exactly what is going to happen, but I'll tell you what is very neat. Okay? Again, I put my disclaimer through. This is just pieces of the puzzle of my own study. And we will just look at the events, we'll compare it with the scripture, and we will be surprised in many things. Okay? But it says, so the 4 angels who had been prepared for the hour, a day, and a month, and the year were released to kill a third of mankind. Now, question. When you read a statement that says the hour, the hour, the day, the month, and the year, do you think that's a specific?
Yes.
Probably.
That's very specific.
Yeah.
That is a date on a calendar. Would you say that?
Yeah.
That is a date on a calendar. Now, they have been released to kill 1/3 of men, 1/3 of men at a particular time, a particular day, a particular month, and a particular year. Okay, just hold your thoughts for a second, because I just need to prepare more the pot here. Okay. Who is good at mathematics? What is, it says 1/3 of mankind. Okay. Let's say of 1,000 people. Of 1,000 people, how much is 1/3 of 1,000?
333.
333. Okay, so how much is 2/3 of 1,000?
6.
Okay, so wait, before it was 2/3 that did not get affected by the winds, though, right? Only 1/3 got affected by the wind.
Okay, the one, no, no. So in this case, so for men as such, is it doesn't say 1/3 of men before. It says in the 5th trumpet, they were commanded not to harm the grass or the earth, but only those that didn't have the sign on the foreheads. It didn't tell you how many. But when the 4, sorry. Now with yes, we're talking about in the there's people, of course, that are dying. Okay, there's people that are dying with the first 4 trumpets. There's no question about that. There's deaths. Okay, but now we're moving on. That's part of also the preparation for the deception. Now we set up the people have set up Satan as Christ, as king over them, but there will be people that will not worship. So there is a release of angels to kill 1/3 of the people. But when? From 1 hour, 1 day, 1 month, and 1 year. In other words, okay, let's say now Canadian or US government says, okay, what you need to update all the passports are now invalid. So you got a period of time in which you can still use your passport, but we just upgraded the system and it's going to be a new identification passport system. So you've got let's say a process of in which both passports will be available, but then after a certain time, that's the due date. From that point on, if you haven't changed your passport to the new passport, for instance, and you're trying to travel, you won't be able to travel, or you'll get a fine.